what keeps us going, right? Would you agree, Sarah? That's just like,
Yeah, that's where passion comes from, right?
yes.
That is where that feeling comes from that is deep within your soul, that's deep within your gut, that gets you, jumping out of bed in the morning rather than opening your eyes filled with anxiety, like really not excited at all, unenthused to have your feet hit the floor. Like every single one of you, every single one of us deserves to have that passion that's inside of us. And we deserve to be able to find that, and we deserve to be able to dream about it, and we deserve to be able to move forward to make those dreams a reality, like we do. And
Yeah.
that you all are capable of it. You, every single one of you, you're all capable of it. And that's what what we hope to inspire within you this evening is to have you do more of what brings you joy at the very least, and to just show you that you are deserving of it and you are capable of it. And you can achieve it. And it sounds a little airy, I know, and it sounds a little like, oh, how nice of her to say that. But just follow with us tonight, stick with us tonight, because something that we say could just be life changing for you. So
Yeah.
now that we talked about us running around outside, and it seems like a lot of you got snow. Many of you got snow. Some of you did not get any snow that are in Florida. Some of you got rain. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. And do any of you have oils with you, like around and about, that you could just grab? If not, maybe just like, go ahead, go run, go grab an oil, get one real quick. I don't even have one right here, so I'm going to run. I have these coconut milk caramels that I just ate all of those, but I don't have.
Amazing. I will have to say, Sarah, like today when you were saying, just just yeah, tapping into that. Like, okay, so the mundane, like as you're all like grabbing your oils, right? Yeah, we all have our mundane, right? But tap into what like brings you joy and makes you like just, I don't know, just find that inner child. Like for us, Mondays are, I bring my kids into the 80s. Like we dance and we sing to the 80s, like Cyndi Lauper, um, just to get through and have some joy and just laugh about life, right? And so what are you all putting on, right? We pump up our oils during the day to make us joyful and elevate that frequency, right? What are you all putting on, right? What are you all grabbing tonight? I'm grabbing Envision because we're going to be dreaming tonight. And Envision is something I put on daily right here on my pineal gland. And I want to envision the future. I want to envision and dream. And yeah.
I grabbed Endoflex and Present Time for me, because I can always use Endoflex. Endoflex just gives me a little bit of a boost when I need it. And Present Time, because I am here with all of you and I'm here for all of you in this moment right now. And I just want to be here, and I want to be here, and I want to speak with you too. So peace and calming, never a bad choice. I use that one instead of deodorant, by the way. Joy, frankincense. Frankincense is the bomb.
Dreamcatcher. Oh, so good. Dreamcatcher. Highest potential.
Brain power, lavender, ylang ylang, sacred frankincense, more peace and calming, all the good ones. Okay, so now we have our oils on. Now we're going to get to business. So we're going to do just really short introductions. I think that most of you, I see a lot of familiar faces, a couple new faces. So I'll do a really short introduction, and then I will introduce Sarah Stutzman. And then we are going to share our stories briefly with you, and then we're going to get to the nitty gritty, which is going to be, you're going to leave with 6 steps on ways to start sharing when you have limited time. How many of you are busy? Anybody busy? Anybody? Yeah. Anybody find yourself being like, oh, I have all this stuff to do and I don't have enough time to do it. Anybody? Yeah, right. All of us. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because we are constantly, I get the question all the time. Hey, I really want to share this, or I really want to be doing something else, or I really want to be sharing Young Living, or I really want to be doing the Young Living business, or I really want to take advantage of this income opportunity, but I only have 10 minutes in a week. And I'm like, that's 10 minutes in a week. Okay, you're going to need more than 10 minutes in a week. However, if you have a consistent chunk of time a day that you can make, which all of us do, all of us are busy. We all have 1,000 things on our plates. I see all of you in here are women, so you're wearing like 50 hats in a day. A lot of you are going uh, from mom to wife to sister to daughter to cousin to friend to whatever your other profession is, to fur baby mom to farmer to I don't even know. You probably have a bunch of other talents that I don't even know about, but you have so many different hats that you're wearing. And we're going to talk to you about how to spend that consistent chunk of time a day, how to be the most effective and the most efficient, and things that Sarah and I did from the very beginning, which are the same exact things that we're doing now to make this work. So I am Sarah Paul. I am a gold leader with Young Living. I have been working the Young Living business for this coming April will be 4 years for me. I was a school teacher. That's where Sarah Stutzman and I actually met at my first teaching job. She was a mentor to me way back when we were teaching in the Reading School District. And at the time, about 4 years ago, I had just had my son. I just told you my son is almost 5 now. I was on an extended unpaid maternity leave. And it was literally the month that I called Sarah looking for upper respiratory support for my son, who had just had an allergic reaction to penicillin and was in the hospital. I was looking for something natural to support his health. The reason that I reached out to her was because I trusted her, because I knew her before, because I saw her sharing consistently. So I knew she was doing something. I had no idea what it was. I knew it was something with oils, and I didn't know what oils were, but she seemed happy and was using them with her kids. And I reached out to her and I asked her to tell me the truth. I said, hey, I'm at a loss here. I'm at a really super low point. I am not sleeping. My anxiety is the worst it's ever been. My son is not healthy, and I want to try something natural with him. Do oils actually work? And she was so kind that she did not continue to talk to me via messenger. She asked if she could give me a phone call. And then we chatted for a couple minutes on the phone. I told her to send me whatever it was that she was talking about. I didn't look at any pictures. I didn't see any graphics. I didn't do any research. I just wanted help. And she listened and she helped me. I got my kid in the mail without ever smelling an oil, knowing really what oils were, knowing what a diffuser was, knowing what Young Living was. I thought she actually owned a franchise. I thought Young Living was her franchise business. So that's how out of the loop that I was. I got my kit and I fell in love, and I couldn't stop talking about oils, and I still haven't stopped talking about them. And this is almost year 4 for me. So that's basically what happened and how I started using products. And it was all because of this chick right here. So Sarah, there's your introduction.
I actually remember, like, you speaking that, I seriously remember sitting on my bed. My kids were all taking naps because I do this during rest time. Like, this is my mama gig. Like, this is what we do during rest time, right? It's the beauty of being able to have a home-based business and fitting this in those cracks of time. And so when my kids would rest or have rest time or nap, I remember sitting in my bed and talking to you, Sarah. And we hadn't talked for quite a while, but we were friends on Facebook, right? We have these friends on Facebook. And I always looked up to Sarah. She was an incredible educator. And I loved working with her in the Reading School District. And just, I loved coming into your classroom. You just always had this pep, this vibe, this just, eagerness to educate your children, your students, and you have that same eagerness right now. Like, I could cry because I see it in you now. And so when you're passionate about something, you want to share it. And I'm Sarah Stutzman. I'm a platinum leader with Young Living. And honestly, guys, I started because a friend of mine kept sharing. She's like, hey, you need to try out Young Living. You need to check these out, because she knew I used oils. I used oils since I was in high school. It was just something that always intrigued me. I was always intrigued by homeopathy, aromatherapy, oils. I had like this container of oils. I still have them just to remind me of where I came from and who I was, right? We just do that. I have a little picture of like me with a goat, like sitting right here in front of me. Like, we have to remind ourselves of who we are. What are our passions? What are our desires? What do we love in life? We have to keep those little reminders. And so she kept on me, and I was like, well, I'm just getting oils from the health food store and they're working. I think so. I think they're working. But then my middle child, she came along, and she was unlike the others. She's amazing and awesome and has just this zeal and this zest for life, but she didn't like to sleep. I mean, who would when you have such like eagerness to live life, right? You just want to do it all. And she had that from such a young little infant. But I needed sleep. And so my friend gave me lavender. She wasn't doing the business. She still isn't doing the business. She just was like, take my lavender. You need some sleep, mama. And I slathered it on Sawyer's feet. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know. Um, and Sawyer slept, and she was calmer. And I was like, what is this? I need this. And that instant, because I knew there was something since the age of 16, I knew there was some properties of oils that could help the root cause of conditions. I just knew it in my soul. And so I immediately started sharing. Like, I had a class in my house, and Melissa Stoltzfus, our diamond upline, our leader, she was like, do you need help? I was like, no, I got this. I was like, I can do this. Well, I verbally vomited on everyone, but you know what? It is what it is. And I kept doing it over and over and over. Like, I would just open my home to anyone that wanted to come and smell oils and apply them and learn about them. And I kept doing it over and over and over again because I loved it. We had this passion. Like Sarah said, when you have this passion, it just overflows and you just can't stop talking about it. And so that's kind of how I started sharing and sharing and sharing. And I think I taught a class for you, Sarah. Like, you were like, okay, I keep giving this stress away. How do I get more? I'm giving it to everyone I know. Like, you were making bottles for everyone.
I was. I was. I didn't even, when the first time I smelled Stress Away, and it's so funny because it's really not one of my favorite oils now, just to be completely transparent. I like it, but I mix it with other things. But I took it and I just made up rollers, and I would just have my purse filled with rollers. And whenever I would see anyone that I cared about, I would just give it to them. And they'd be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, I have this, and you need it, and just smell it like this. And people, like my friends, just I don't know, they definitely thought I was very strange. Like, I grew up in the inner city. I did not grow up doing anything natural at all. Every single thing that I did growing up was from the pharmacy, or it was from the pharmacy. It wasn't even from the doctor. It was definitely over the counter. So when I found oils, I was like, holy cow, these are just magic, and people need to smell them. So that was what I was doing in the beginning. I was just giving them to everyone. And then I'm like, hey, I think I want to do like a class or something. And Sarah said that she would come down, and it was the same type of situation. She came down to my house, and she's like, I remember she brought hand soap, and she's like, I have this and I'm going to give hand soap to someone. And I'm like, I already made hand soap. I have it in every single room. Like, I was doing all the things because when I do something. I wanted to just be all in. I wanted to put it all in. So I want to know how many of you are like brand new to sharing. Just say that you're brand new. How many of you have shared a couple times, enrolled a couple members? Let me know kind of where you are on this journey, just so that we can also speak to you too. And then what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to share 6 ways to spend your time. But just let us know kind of where you are, like how many years. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so we have some people who are brand new. 9 years oily, that's so amazing. Enrolled some members, shared some, 2 years sharing. Okay, perfect. Brand new. Okay, wonderful. So just kind of keep plugging it in there in the chat thread. The more feedback that you give us, the better that we can kind of help you as well. And afterwards, we're going to give you a little questionnaire. You can fill that out, and then we can also follow up with you too. Sharing about WILE for about 3 years, 2 years. Okay, cool. So when I shared in the very beginning, I did a lot of things in person. So the way that I shared has kind of changed a little bit over the past year or so. But in the beginning, just like Sarah said, I was constantly just inviting people over to my house and having classes. And I would do things in person. I love seeing people in person. And that is really like what makes me feel so happy. And I love when people smell oils for the first time. And I just love that. So I literally taught a 101 class to the premium starter kit. I'd also love to know, which starter kit did you get started with? So tell me that too. But just with the plain old oil starter kit, I taught that class. I don't even know. I wish I would have kept track, because I'm still teaching them all the time. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So when people are like, well, I don't know enough, I'm like, just know your kit. Like, first and foremost, you started with a kit. Know your kit. Go to that kit and know one way to use each of those oils. Like Sarah said in the beginning, she would just kind of verbally, vomit on people and just tell them everything. Like, how many different things can you do with lemon? I bet you between all of us, we would have 23 different ways that you could use lemon oil. And to someone who has never used lemon oil before, if you tell them 23 different ways to use it, you might think you're being helpful, but they're going to run away from you, because they're just going to be completely overwhelmed with the concept of, what on earth is she talking about? So you have to really just try to keep things as basic as possible. Very basic. So what I always say is, go back to that kit, learn your kit, and be authentic with that too. So you don't have to share in the same way that I share. You don't have to share in the same way that Sarah shares, or that anyone else in here shares. You want to be authentic to you. So if you are a product of the product, of which you're all going in here saying that you bought a kit of some sort, almost every single one of you started with the oils kit. Did anyone start with a different kit? I'm trying to go through to see, but pretty much all of you have started with the oils kit that I see so far, which means that most of your people are probably going to start that same way, especially if you guide them to that way to start, because it really is the best value in getting started. And we all know that. So you need to know one way to use all of those 12 oils, and that is how you can explain that to people. It really is simple is best. What I also say is that if you are teaching something in person or on Zoom, especially if it's a 101 oriented class, then you want to ask questions. You notice that whenever you're on Zoom calls with Sarah and myself, we are always asking questions, right? We're always asking questions. We're always asking for your feedback, even on Zoom. I want to keep all of you awake. I want to keep all of you engaged. I want to keep all of you kind of like, okay, yeah, she's talking to me. I almost want to have you feeling like guilty if you don't respond. And that's not for guilt. That's not like the mom guilt or anything. It's just to keep you engaged, because that's how you learn. Like, that's how you're going to sit here for the next 25 minutes and not just completely tune me out. So, and I also always want to offer something of value to you specifically. So I know that all of you are coming here either as brand new people who want to share the Young Living business, or for people who have been doing this for a little while and you might be struggling on ways to share. or you might be struggling because you don't have enough time, which is why I sat today. I created a PDF that I'm going to share with every single one of you because I value your time. So when we share this today, we're going to share these, 6 ways to spend your time. And then I'm going to gift you that so that when you're sitting down, you can just print it out, have it sitting right there when you have those 15 minutes or when you have that half an hour, and you can get right to work on exactly what's going to make the most difference for your business too. So think about the person that's in front of you. What is going to add value to them? And that can be in a face-to-face conversation. That can be via Zoom, but you have to always, ready for this? You have to be more interested than interesting. Okay, you have to ask questions to get to whatever that person's pain point is or whatever that person's problem is, so that you can speak to them and how you're going to add value to their life and how you're going to offer some sort of a solution. And now I'm not saying that you're going to treat them, you're going to diagnose them, you're going to cure them of whatever's happening in their life, because that's not your job. You're not their doctor, okay? You're not, no matter what types of things people share with you, that's not your job. But your job is to offer a solution or offer something that can help to alleviate pain that they're feeling, okay? So do I listen or do I wait to speak? Yeah, so I ask questions. I ask question after question after question after question when I talk to people. And it depends on the person, it depends on how it is, but I never leave things open-ended. And I will never, ever, ever say to someone in a conversation, just let me know what you think. I will never say, try this and let me know. Because do you know what? 100% of the time when I did that in the beginning, how many people let me know what they thought? 0. Yeah, nobody's going to let you know anything. And it's not because they don't like you. And it's not because they don't even like it. They could very well love it. Okay. But people are busy. You all said in the very beginning, every single one of you had your hand up and said, I am busy. I'm here because I don't have time, but you're investing your time to try to get a nugget of information that's going to help you. So stop leaving things in the other person's hand, because Young Living, they don't even see the value in it yet, or else they would have already bought a kit and they would already be a member. So clearly they don't see the value in it. So it's a very low priority for them because they don't yet know the possibilities that are in that box. They don't yet know how their life can be changed from that box of oils. It's your job to show them the value, to speak their language, but you have to do that by asking questions to find out what their pain point is, because every single one of you sitting here right now has a different pain point. I have a pain point as well, okay? We all do. We all have something that we're walking through, which is a trial in our life. And Young Living, either the product or the income opportunity, can be the solution or a solution to one of those problems. But it's our job as a good person who cares for other people. You have to like people in order to be able to share Young Living well. If you do not like people, you can just get off the call right now. I won't talk about you afterwards ever, okay? But you can just bow out, because you do have to like people. You have to have a genuine interest in people. You have to want to help people, and you have to, or else you're not going to do this.
Can I just butt in here, because I am an introverted extrovert, and I am one of those people that would much rather just do my thing, right? I like people, I really do, but it takes me effort, and this is a skill that I had to learn in my business. And when 2020 hit, I went backwards, because it's so much easier to do things on Zoom and to do things behind the screen. And now I have to relearn these things and get out into public again and make conversation human to human, belly to belly. And it's not that I don't like people, it's just for me, it's very uncomfortable. So when I started college, I commuted. And I would come home, my mom would be like, did you meet anyone? I'd be like, no. She's like, well, do you walk to class with your head held high, smiling to people? And I was like, no. She's like, or do you walk to class with your head down to the ground? And I was like, yeah. Like, so like you have to learn these skills, and that is if you genuinely like people, you like to converse, but it's uncomfortable with new people. That is a skill, that's a business skill that you may have to learn. All right, it may be uncomfortable, but you may have to learn some communication skills, and trust me, it is uncomfortable, but it is so incredible because you get to meet so many amazing people. And trust me, guys, I mean, put in the comments how many of you love to like converse with total complete strangers, or if you find it completely uncomfortable to make conversation with a complete stranger. Like my mom would converse with complete strangers in the grocery store line, and I would be like, Mom, what are you doing? Like, I wish I would have taken notes from her earlier on in life. So, like, is it uncomfortable for you to converse with strangers, or is it, or do you love doing it? Right? Like, this is a
No,
business skill, ladies and gentlemen.
my mom is on this call right now, and she just said I love to talk to everyone, and she does. I was always at the grocery store with her, and I was always like, oh my gosh. But now the beauty of this, no matter where you're at, okay, is that that is a skill. So when you start with Young Living, the people who you're going to talk to first are going to be those people that you know, right? It's going to be like your mom, like my mom's in here. I have a couple friends who are in here. It's going to be, maybe some family members, like things, people that you see regularly, people that are maybe in your house. If you have your diffuser running, which if you have your diffuser and people come over, you should always have it running. Always. Okay. Like you don't have to clean up your socks that are on your bedroom floor. Just go and put the diffuser on. Always. Using your products in front of other people is one of the best things to do as well. And that can be in the grocery store line, or that can be in your home, or that can be wherever. That's one of the best things, being a product of the product. Using your products and having a story or a testimony behind them is the one of the first things that can really get you going. But Sarah, even if you are uncomfortable then talking to other people that you may not know, there is something you can do, right? I know that Steve and I would practice this, and I think that you and your hubby would practice it too. You can go and you can, like, this is really probably going to sound weird, but you can do something that's called form people, FORM, right? And when you meet new people, you can ask them questions. These are guiding questions that you can ask them in order to find out more information about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can ask them questions that are about their family, would be F.
Mm-hmm. I'm typing it out right now. Family.
That's perfect, because I was trying to like.
Yeah, no, I'm typing out family. You ask them just like, hey, you ask them about their family, their occupation,
Yep, their recreation.
and then you send your message.
Yep.
Not like, oh, buy oils for me. It's like, oh, well, if you know anyone that would, this is the hard part, and I haven't mastered this, but this is where the listening comes in. When you hear that need, you're always listening for the need. Well, if you know anyone, you're not necessarily asking them to take a listen to your opportunity, but if you know anyone that would need XYZ, then I would love to help them with that need, right? So you're not necessarily asking them, but if they have someone they know, and automatically that person's going to be like, well, I have a need for sleep support, or I need help with children that have temper tantrums in the grocery line, or, like you're listening for a need. And that's where Sarah was saying she's constantly listening, asking questions, listening, instead of saying, running down all the things that lavender can do for them, right? Listening.
Yeah.
Because don't we want to be listened to at the end of the day? Just listened to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's something that you can do if you're talking to someone that maybe you're trying to make small talk with. You can ask them again: family, occupation, recreation, and message. So, family would be, hey, like, do you live around here? Oh, where'd you grow up? Oh, do you have any kids? Are you married? Like, different questions about family. Occupation, what do you do? Right. And typically, then they would ask you what you do. And that's when, okay, are you going to share that you do young living, or do you have a limiting belief that you don't even share that with people? I'm just going to ask you, like, that's just a question to put out there. Because for the longest time, I remember in the very beginning, I was like, I don't know, like, do I share that I do this or do I not? And it's like, of course you do. You share this. If you want to grow this as a business, then you have to share it. Recreation, what do they do for fun? Right. Oh, it's snowing. Do you go skiing? Oh, where do you go? You can try to add value too. And that message then is going to be, like Sarah said, you can try to get your message across. And for each conversation, it's going to be a little bit different. It may not be, hey, do you want to buy Young Living? But you're planting the seeds right then and there to just let them know that this is something that you do, and this is an opportunity that they can take advantage of too. So I think what I'm going to do, Sarah, I'm going to share that little PDF so we can kind of bring it back to basics. What do you think?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do a screen share them.
And I think while you're screen sharing, I think something that Sarah does that's incredible is the way that she makes connections in grocery stores, in farmers markets, wherever she's at, she's connecting, and she's not leaving it in that other person's hand, which I highly value in what she does. Like, I don't know, I feel like she is incredible at what she does. Like, if someone comments on her earrings, oh, I got them on Etsy. Oh, are you on Facebook? Let's connect and I'll send you the link. Or let me grab your email, or let me grab your phone number and I'll send you the link to it. So you're the one in charge. You never, ever, ever want to just give someone your business card or give someone your contact information, because then you're not in charge. You want to be collecting their information and then connecting with them. You're the one that's in charge. And you're then not just being the one in charge, like saying, oh, come to my class or come check out my oils, but you're authentically creating a relationship. So if someone says, oh, I love your earrings, oh, I got them on Etsy. Can I have your email and I'll send you the link? Or can I have your text, your phone number and I'll text it to you? Or are you on Facebook and I'll send you the link? You're the one that's in charge. And then you get to form that relationship. And Sarah does a beautiful job at that. And so that's where your message can also come into play there, when you're creating, contacts when you're out and about. So another way to create messages.
Absolutely. And that's something too, where people, once, for some of you who have been sharing for a little while, how many of you feel like you're stuck? How many of you feel like you're not sure kind of where to go? How many of you feel like you are unsure of who to go to? You're unsure of kind of how to have your sphere of influence grow. Let me know in the comments. And Sarah, if you could just be helpful, because I can't see anything right now. Because that's a great way to then be able to expand your presence. I have met a ton of people just in the grocery store line, or I don't know, at different public I don't know, at Weaver's Orchard, or I meet people when I sell people things on Facebook Marketplace. Like I've signed up new members that way. I have really good friends now that I met on Facebook Marketplace, which is just so funny. But just by like what Sarah said, I never leave any conversation to the other person, because out of respect, I know that they're busy. So what I'm going to do anytime that we talk, I close a conversation. And I do that the same way that I would think about when you leave the doctor's office, okay? Or the dentist. We'll use the dentist for this example. So you go in, you get your teeth cleaned at the dentist, everything's fine. You go to the desk to pay. And what does the receptionist say to you? Does she
See you in
say,
6 months.
"Hi, have a good day"? No, she says, "I'll see you in 6 months. Would you like to schedule that time now?" Right? And before you leave, you have an appointment on your phone or in your planner for 6 months when you know you're going back to the dentist, right? So that's how I leave every single conversation. And then they know that I'm going to be following up with them about what we discussed. And that might be something as arbitrary as, where I got my earrings, or it might be something like, I don't know, getting together for a cup of tea or having that phone call, but I always bring my phone out. If I'm in front of someone, I schedule it right then and there. And 10 times out of 10, the other person brings out their phone. We do the same exact thing. Or I connect with them on social media and I say, "Hey, I'm going to share this with you later." And that's how I meet new people too. So Sarah, what's the feedback that we're getting right now?
Yeah, I have a few people that saying they're stuck,
Okay.
definitely feeling stuck in their business.
Okay. So let's see if some of these strategies can be helpful to you as well. Um, so sharing how to make the most of your time when you're sharing Young Living with others. So we have 6 little tips that are here that we're going to share with you. And when it comes down to it, okay, you do not have to do like one, first and foremost, okay? I was at church yesterday and the sermon, our pastor was talking about comparison and how comparison kills. Like no matter what, when you are comparing your journey to my journey, for instance, tonight, right? If you're comparing where you are at in your Young Living business to where I'm at and the things that you see me doing on social media is just a glimpse. It is a snapshot. It is a manicured snapshot of what I want you to see of my life. You are not seeing all the blood, sweat, and tears that go into my business on the other side of social media. You're not seeing what I do day in and day out. These things that I'm sharing with you today are the things that I do day in and day out. They are tried and true ways that you can build your business. And it's all going to go back to talking to people. It's all going to go back to talking to people. If you have any time, it's going to be one, making a dream list. Okay. And this can include anyone you'd love to have in your community, you'd love to use Young Living with you, or who would benefit from our products, or who would benefit from the income opportunity. You can look through your phone, you can look through social media, you can look through email list contacts. Okay, every single one of you should have a list of people. I'm going to say 100 people. I know that some people get really scared by that number. You could do 25, you could do 50. Okay. I always say about 100 because that's like a huge list that you can work off of for a really long time. And this list of people, it doesn't mean that just because you put their name on this list that you have to go to them and be like, "Hey, guess what? I have Young Living. Do you want some?" I always tell all the women on our team that you were not creepy before you started sharing Young Living. Don't start being creepy now. Like that is creepy. Don't be creepy. Don't be weird. You weren't before. Don't do it now. Like you're not just going to start messaging people and being like, "Hey, I got some Young Living. Do you want some?" Like that's weird. This is all people who, again, this is your dream list. Okay. So when I started out, I literally wrote down my friends who I knew they would be good at this. And I would have been thrilled if they would choose to do this with me. Okay. And just by writing their name on a piece of paper, when I saw their things on social media, or when different things happened in their life, it made me think of them. It made me grow that relationship with that person. which you can just do through conversation. Hey, how are you guys doing on today on this snow day? Hey, are your kids off school? Hey, did you make it home okay today? Hey, how are you guys hanging on with all this craziness that's going on in the world? All those ways that I just said are ways that you can reach out to those people and grow that relationship. You don't have to mention anything with Young Living. In fact, if you go to point number 2, focus on connecting with just 10 people a day. If this is all that you do every day, you're going to really see success in growing a Young Living business. And this is something that you can do from anywhere. If Sarah and I are talking about getting belly to belly with people and talking to people, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that right now, you don't have to. Primarily, what I do right now is all via social media and all via text message. So connect with 10 people a day from your dream list, okay? Via text, phone, social media, email, however you typically would. Do not mention oils unless it comes up. Oh, sorry, I have to fix some of these. This was like really little in my Canva app. I'm sorry. That's the teacher in me. I'm like, oh, I will get that fixed before I bring that out to you. But see how they are, see how they've been, and keep track of who you contacted. Okay.
And can I just add to that real quick?
Yeah, please.
I did have someone just reach out to me that is she's been a, a lifelong friend. We haven't connected for a while, but she reached out to me via message because she's now in a new company. And she just reached out saying, hey, I know you value, chemical-free living. I just joined an amazing company. I would love for you to take a look at it. I give her props for it, but at the same time, some people build their business like that and they ask for you to come take a look at their business. For me, I was like, well, you know what? I haven't talked to you for quite a while and you're asking me to take a look at your business. Like for me, that was a turnoff. So I want you to think about that. Um, I wish her well, but it comes down to relationships. Do not mention oils. It is all about relationships. People they buy into a product because they value and they trust you, not because of a product, right? Not because of oils, not because of makeup, not because of hair care, not because of nails, not because of anything. So just keep that at the center. Always just keep people first. Authentically keep people first.
Absolutely. And share in a way that feels good in your heart and good in your soul. Share in a way that brings you joy. I remember there was a time, because Sarah's been a mentor to me through my entire business. She and I do calls every week together because I ask her for that, because I work my tail off and I say, hey, can I just bounce some ideas off of you for 20 minutes in a week? And she blesses me with that. And there was a point where I was sharing a little transition time in my business, and like I was just not, it wasn't bringing me as much joy. And I said to her, I feel stuck, I feel stuck, I feel stuck. And she's like, well, what do you really enjoy doing? And I'm like, oh, you know what? I really got to think about that. Like I did. I said, I can't answer that right now. I got to think on that. And I did. And it took me, a week, and I sat and I worked on it. And I'm like, what do I love the most? Like, what do I love about this opportunity? What do I love most about this business? And it was when I got back to doing that then everything else just fell into place. Like I started ranking up. I started helping more people. Our community grew, like the partnership grew. But it was when I was doing things that really, truly brought me joy, and I was sharing in a way that was authentic to me and that felt good. Maybe for you, that is just messaging people and being like, hey, I do Young Living, and do you want Young Living? If that feels good to you, then do it. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm just saying, in my experience, relationships do come first, and that you really want to pour into the person as well.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this, okay, and you are doing this through social media, then what you have your people, you have your list, you're contacting people in a regular way. If it's 10 people a day or whatever that number, can do with your time. Okay, maybe it's 2 people a day. Maybe it's 5 people a day. These are just numbers. This is not like rules that you must follow. These are just guidelines, okay? Then, if you want to share on social media, be consistent on social media. You have to be. And what you can do is just be consistent with your life. So the way that I share, I think that I just share about who I am, what I'm doing, what's happening in my life, and then I kind of throw oils in between. Okay. So it doesn't mean that if I want to share about this business, now all of a sudden I have to be chained to my phone and I have to be on social media all the time. No, that's not it. That doesn't mean every single day. It means maybe like every week. Yes. If that's how you're planning to build your business on social media, then you have to be on social media. That's the way that it is. But live your life, share your story, share more than just about oils, because you are a person that, that other people trust, because you have knowledge about something that I don't. Like, people are going to go to you because they trust you. Okay. That's one. Or they're going to go to you because they like you. That's two. Or because they want to be like you. And that's going to sound really probably weird to some of you, but it's true. They're like, oh, I like that. I like she's doing that. Maybe I could do that too. Right. So we all have our own niche markets. I share about what I do in my life. Nothing that I share is ever fabricated, because I don't know how anyone could ever keep up with any of that stuff. But I just share what I authentically do. So you're going to see, if you're following me on social media, that I'm going to share about homeschooling, because we're homeschooling. I'm going to share that we just moved into a new home. We're doing renovations, because that's my life. You're going to see that I'm planning a garden and I'm getting chickens and I'm trying to figure it out. You're going to see me trying to figure a lot of things out, because I didn't grow up living the way that I'm trying to live my life right now. And that's basically what I share about. And oils are a part of that I share about. It's like a piece to the puzzle, right? What do you think, Sarah?
Yes, absolutely. It's I think, and people will also, when you're consistent on social media, it's like I always give this analogy. If you find the most amazing pizza shop in town and you go there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And you go to take your friends there the next Friday and they're closed. And you're like, well, okay. We'll go the next Friday, right? And then they're open. And then you take your friends the following Tuesday and they're closed. There's no set schedule. There's no set hours. You're going to find another pizza shop. And so being consistent shows that you are invested. You are loving what you are sharing, whether it is, like Sarah said, like, learning how to raise chickens, or learning, how to have a garden. You're sharing, you're showing up consistently, and that becomes your niche. That becomes what we call your brand. I say it in quotations because everyone says, oh, what's my brand, right? When you're on social media, it's such a cliche, but your brand is you and what you love and the things that you show up for every day, whether it's, sharing recipes every single day, or what you're cooking every single day, or the, things you're teaching your kids every day. That is you. You are your brand. You have amazing gifts. You are uniquely created. Do not ever doubt that. And you have something of value to offer to this world. And though we may see these huge, Instagrammers and these people with followers, they could be fake followers. I'm just saying that. They can completely be fake followers. You have followers that are following you for a purpose and a reason. All right. So never doubt that. And you have influence, right? You follow people because they offer recipes and they offer some fascinating tips. Well, people follow you for the same thing, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. So do not ever doubt that. Be consistent, okay? And show up and keep sharing the things that you love, not for others, but because you just love offering value to the world. We are here to offer value and to offer insight, okay? Got it? I'm just being that mother hen right now, I feel like.
No, absolutely. And this is, again, if you choose to share on social media, How many of you want to share about oils on social media? Let me know. Or if you want to do it in person, let me know. Because again, we're speaking to social media right now because of,
That's the day and age that we're in,
oh,
right? It's easier to do that.
yep.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you have your list of people. You're talking to your people, right? You're being a little consistent about living your life so that they kind of see what you're doing. Then invite them to an opportunity. What's an opportunity? Well, you could host a class. Um, like Sarah said, she, teaches classes for other people. I teach classes for other people too. You could do something like that, a Zoom where you just go over all the oils in the kit. Or you can invite them to a team workshop. So any of our Monday night calls, you can invite them to. If you're on our team, you can invite them to a Saturday morning call. Sarah and the other Sarah, they've been doing these Saturday morning calls that are fantastic, which are half an hour, super short, super sweet. It goes through the oils and the income opportunity. So invite them, or invite them on a phone call, or invite them on a call with yourself and the person who enrolled you. If I've done that for so many people where people have contacted me, they're like, my sister wants to join, but she has a baby and I don't have a baby. And I know you have a baby. Can you talk to her about baby things? And I'm like, yeah, let's just do a 3-way call. Boom, get them on a 3-way call, sign them up right on the phone. Like, you have so many opportunities. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. You can just plug them into an opportunity because, again, remember, you don't have time. Fine. Then don't teach a class if this is your busy season, like maybe you're an accountant and this is your very busy season, but you want to continue to build your business, then just pop them into a call, invite them onto a call that's already happening, invite them into a workshop. But after you do this part, you have to follow up with them.
Mhm.
Hey, I saw that you were at the class on Monday night, or I invited you to that class on Saturday. I didn't see that you were there. Would you like the replay? Or you were at that workshop on Monday night. How did you like it? Thanks for coming. Did you have any questions that weren't answered? What did you really love? And then it's like, okay, you loved everything. Great. Do you want to get your kit? Don't leave out that question. Don't leave out that if they tell you that you gave them a sample, they said that they loved it, then ask them, do you want some? I've had so many women be like, I don't know, I gave them a sample and they loved it but they didn't get it yet. And I'm like, okay, did you ask them if they wanted to buy it? And they're like, well, not really. I mean, I gave them my link and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't say like, hey, do you want some? Would you like this? That's the easiest close that you can do for someone. Oh, you love it? Great. Would you like it? And then show them how to do it. Our website can be a little bit tricky at first. Just going to say that. A lot of times what I do is I talk with the person over the phone and I'll sign them up on my computer, because if I send them just my link, a lot of people get confused just from our website on the first time around. So you have to follow up, and all in the meantime, the easiest way to kind of get to know your products is being a product of the product. So being an Essential Rewards member, getting to know the oils that are in your kit, just finding your why, like finding that testimony, that story that you have to share about that one oil that you love, that makes you feel so much better, and why. It is so important to be able to have that. You can share your orders each month on social media. You can switch and ditch toxic products, and just really be a part of that. Show them that, that this is a part of your lifestyle as well.
Mhm.
So we have like 3 minutes. If you have questions, comment below.
I have one person that said they're off of social media for the past year, and I completely like relate. And some people are all on board with social media, and some people are like, no, I'm done. And so if you are not one to share on social media, then you know what? That's where we have those belly to belly, and we get to have those beautiful, intimate relationships. And I think that is so much more valuable, because you get to know people and you get to know their pain points and you get to really do life with them. And so that might be having a cup of tea with them, cup of coffee, and inviting them into your home or going over to their home. And so, so sharing might be a little bit different. And that's how Young Living started. I remember listening to Terry Ringham, I believe. I think it was her. She saddle up her horse and go from farmer to farmer with these cassette tapes sharing, Young Living and the story of Young Living. And so think about in 1994, when Young Living started, how we didn't have social media and how businesses were built. And so you can build your business any way that feels right to you. Just be the number one thing is, Sarah and I would agree, consistency, continuing to keep doing it, even though sometimes we think no one's listening. Is anyone there? Someone is listening. There are people out there that need to hear the amazing benefits that Young Living can do. These oils, that what support they could provide for everyone around the world.
Absolutely. And, for those of you who have yet to share, it is as simple as you have a member number, right? So you
Mhm.
have a member number that you can share with other people. That member number, they just plug it into the website when they go to sign on to either get a starter kit or even to buy like 1 or 2 products at retail. They can do that too and use your member number. And that they will automatically, that sale will get attributed to you. And it is literally that simple. You will get all commissions to you, like that are earned by you if you're spending $100 within a month. I do that on Essential Rewards because Essential Rewards is the best way to do that. I mean, I spend more than that because we use so many Young Living products in our home. We use supplements, my gosh, supplements, food, oils, all the things. So that's easy to do if you're being a product of the product. And then you're going to get any commission for any order from here on out. So that really is the best way to do it. If any of you have questions after this, please let us know. I'm going to pop in the Google Doc right now into the chat thread. So fill that out. It'll take you 1 to 2 minutes. I will fix the grammatical errors that were in the document. So sorry about that. And I will send that out to you. And then I also have something else that has the income potential and the income opportunity on it that I will send to you as well. Because like we said in the beginning, you can do this to afford groceries for your family. You can do this just to have your order covered. You can do this to pay for a car payment, or you can do this to replace an income. The choice is completely up to you. But the point is that just to share, find a way that feels good to you, be consistent with it, and reach out if you want support. We have a full community with tons of resources, always have something going on. And we would love to plug you in and give you that support that you need. So please reach out if you have any questions. Sarah, thank you so much for
Thank
everything.
you. You're incredible. Thank you. Thank you all for joining too and just taking time to glean some information. We would love to support you on this journey.
Absolutely. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.